Right now at 4, flash flooding across Hampton roads.
From flooded cars to closed streets, the rain is causing problems in several cities, and we've got crews in Portsmouth and Norfolk right now.
But let's start with Chief Meteorologist Slater and Tiffany Savona in the Super Doppler 10 Weather Center. What a mess out there, guys.
It really is. Normally I take about 15 minutes to get to work. I live close by. It took over an hour.
And it's the worst time of day because you have the schools letting out and then you have the evening commute.
Yeah, the evening commute beginning. Well, hold off on that evening commute if you can. We're going to take a look at radar. Tiffany's going to run the radar. She's going to drive for me, and we're going to point things out as to what's going on Super Doppler 10 Live. Go ahead and let's move on in and have a closer view of things, show you what's going on into the region. Now, we've got all of these areas that are highlighted in terms of really all the way on up to the eastern shore and all the way through eastern North Carolina, all these borders. These are flash flood watches. That means that flooding could develop. But you will note that in some of these areas where you are seeing the red right through here, that means that flash flooding has developed. You saw a reporter standing out in front of very flooded roads. What happened was that around 1 o'clock or so, we had this area that developed in the southern end of Newport News and Hampton, down near the shipyard and near Hampton University. But then it didn't move so much as it grew southward into the Nansemond River area and on through Portsmouth, Churchland area toward Norfolk. And now it has finally started to move just a bit, and it's moving right on into the heart of our viewing area, right into Virginia Beach, our most populous city in the state. Now here's a broader view of things into Virginia Beach. You can see it extending from the Lynn Haven Inlet all the way on southward. We move in for a closer view. Allenton, you're going to get hit by this. Bay Island getting some very heavy rain. It's lightened up a bit. It was between 3.5 and 4 inches per hour during the height of this, so huge amounts of rainfall have fallen. We've got some unofficial reports of around 4 to 5 inches of rain. It extends all the way on down toward Dam Neck Corner, the Strawbridge area, Colony Acres, Mertens Corner, Cardinal Estates, getting a little bit lighter. And we want to storm track this for you. It's moving ever so slowly at around 10-12 miles an hour, but at least it's moving now. It was not moving for a time, so with this thing moving at this rate, the downtown convention center at about 4:13, North Linkhorn Park, Atlantic Park at around 4:04. There's the convention center right there. So some of these areas are really going to get socked with heavy rainfall towards Sandbridge at around 4:14, so about 12-13 minutes from now, and hitting a lot of people. You saw the population impact there. Nearly 500,000 people are going to get really heavy rainfall. Not quite as heavy as it was a little bit earlier on. Still pockets of heavy rain into southern sections of Chesapeake. And Tiffany, jump in with any observations you got going on here too. You can see again some of the moderately heavy rainfall now out over the bay, but a little bit over Hampton and Big Bethel area, but not as bad as it was a little bit earlier on. Can you flip this into motion for us, Tiffany? And I want to show you a couple of little areas that are kind of bothersome, and you can see them for yourself right there. That particular area swirling around on its own. Another area to the southwest of Franklin, not quite as bad. We'll move in on those and show you where they are, just to give you an idea, through the Colossi area, southeast of Zuni. This is Route 460 right here. Give you an idea of where we are. That heads on northwestward toward Petersburg and off into western Virginia. That particular area, likely to see some very heavy downpours. Wherever you are, don't go outside. It's just nasty out there in terms of the flooding that's going on and in terms of the heavy rainfall. Pockets of very heavy rainfall also to the west of the Franklin area. Tiffany, what's the most rainfall that you've heard about out of all of this?
We've heard around 4 to 5 inches, some in the Smithfield area, and certainly the rain still tallying up really in Norfolk, Portsmouth, and Virginia Beach. But I just want to show Tower Cam 10. Earlier, you couldn't even see out of it. So you can see things have improved. The rain is lightened up, but that heavy rain headed toward the central areas of Virginia Beach. That's going to be impacted next. And Don, you want to have your full forecast coming up in a couple of minutes?
We sure are. There's part of it right there. You can see by midnight, it's not quite as widespread. One thing also to note is that high tide is not now. It's a little bit later on in the evening. So if you got rainwater coming down and the tide coming up, it's got nowhere to go. But with it being closer to low tide right now, so some of these floodwaters are going to be draining on out. So I think we're going to look a little bit better in terms of the whole situation. That's what's going on. You can see, again, for the south side, that's where we've got the worst of it. And you can see the bigger picture. We're right in the heart of it, right into the heart of the Hampton Roads area. We'll update Super Doppler 10 live for you and show you what's going on beyond the next hour or so with our forecast. You'll want to stay tuned for that coming up in just a few minutes.
10 on your sides. Erin Kelly is live in Portsmouth now to show us the flooding there.
And Erin, you tweeted out a picture of cars that were stalled multiple on Effingham Street in Old Town. How bad is it?
Oh, I mean, it looks more like the ocean front out here than it does Portsmouth because there are waves coming down the street. I have to keep watching my back here. Every time the cars come down, it sends a wall of water. And we see people that have been trying to get out of the way. People have been pulling over to the side into a parking lot, some of them over on the median. But you can see that it's coming up pretty high to some of these cars here, and it's causing a bit of a backup. We talked to someone. She said she went a mile, took her about 20 minutes. We've seen cars stall out and other people helping around, pushing them out of the way. The one woman we did talk to said that she saw emergency vehicles having difficulty getting by in this water. So we have been driving around this area of Effingham. The streets around here look just as bad, and so we are pulled over in a parking lot and we are on the sidewalk, but you know, it's up pretty high. When we walk down to the street to talk to some of these drivers, I mean, it was coming up towards the tops of the booths here. So definitely a difficult drive if you're coming down Effingham here in Portsmouth. It's going to take you a while to get to where you need to go, and we have been seeing cars throughout the afternoon turn around, reroute, think at the last second, hey, this maybe not be a good idea, and some of them are just waiting it out right now. But that's the latest here on Effingham in Portsmouth. We'll send it back to you.
Erin, thank you, and you must remember the saying, turn around, don't drown, because it is bad, not just there in Portsmouth, but in other places. Jason Marks is in Norfolk.
Yeah, and Jason, we've been following your Twitter account as well, looking at those pictures. Looks really rough there.
Yeah, absolutely. We're at Virginia Beach Boulevard and Tidewater Drive. This is one of the normal places to flood here in Norfolk. Obviously, today was a very bad day. You can see a car stuck here. Look over here on the median. You can see two cars stuck over there. You got one over here. The water is going down. That's the good news. It was very high. It actually was about up to my my upper thigh area. But it is going down, and we have a lot of people who are actually helping out here. People who were not stuck, jumping out of their cars, just trying to get cars out of the road here because it is very high. Obviously, something you don't want to drive through. This intersection is notorious for the high waters, and today, once again, it's no different. But people are still driving through it. People are trying to get home. I can tell you, coming off of 264 to get off of Tidewater, I can tell you it's terrible. Tidewater Drive is backed up a long way from here, all the way back to the interstate. It really is awful. I know that this woman got stuck earlier. Let's see if she'll talk with us. Hi, how are you doing?
Not doing well. It's my red car there.
What happened? Can you tell me what happened?
I was just going through the intersection and it stopped. I think we're gonna push it out of the way.
Gonna try to push it out of the way?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, if you can get it neutral, I can pull it wherever you want it.
All right.
What have you seen so far?
Oh, we just pulled up. We were coming down this way. We just got married today. We're coming down
You
this
just got married today?
Yes.
Congratulations. This is what a way to spend your honeymoon.
Right, yeah. We just came down Virginia Beach Boulevard to go pick up my car and saw the intersection completely flooded, so we just thought we'd stop and try to pull people out.
How deep has it been?
Over there, it's about a foot deep
We
right now.
can walk.
It's about a foot deep right now. Over here in the middle of the intersection.
Obviously something you don't want to drive through.
No, I'm not worried about it, but for all these other cars, I wouldn't try.
We try to help here. I'm going to help here, guys. Obviously, it's been terrible today. I'm sure many streets in Ghent here are like this, or in Norfolk are like this. So something you don't want to drive through. We'll send it back to you. We'll help her back to safety here, guys.
All right, Jason, thank you. And how nice for that guy who just got married. Wow.
Oh, my
he's
goodness.
Being
yeah.
very helpful there. Well, as we mentioned, we do have crews all over checking out this flooding for us.
Yep, we are going to come back to them after the break. We've got crews all over the place, Portsmouth and Norfolk, to check out this flooding.